Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Rocket City Yardstead. So, I thought it was time. I need to bring you guys out here and show you the disaster that my garden has become. If you've been around for a little while, then you know I fell and hurt my ankle, and it's starting to feel a lot better. But my garden has just sort of, what's the word I want here? Not gotten the attention it deserves. Let's put it that way. So, we're going to do some taking care and maintenance today. And I just want to show you guys and be totally transparent in case anybody else is dealing with something like this. Sometimes things look like a disaster. Let's give you a peek of the before here. Here are my flowers. And there is my non-existent walkway. There are my pepper plants. And can I just tell you again how much I'm loving having that landscape fabric, because they are not weedy. But this walkway is literally a jungle. It's just an absolute nightmare. And we come over, and this is the bed that I did not put landscape fabric in. And I don't know how well it comes through on the camera, but there are grass heads up there in that bed. I just had a mosquito land on my hand. And then this walkway is also really weedy. In fact, in this walkway, I had a baby bunny hiding in the grass the other day when I came out. Now that you've seen the disaster, my plan of attack is to start with my weed whacker, and I'm going to weed whack all of these walkways. And then we'll see how my ankle's feeling and what I'm up to after that. If I'm still feeling good, and I can sit to do this as well, so that might make things work out okay, is that I would like to weed around my tomato plants some down the cattle panel and hopefully get some of these tall grasses out of here. So let's see what we can get done. Do you guys have soundtracks for different things that you do? Because I'm not wearing headphones here, but I can tell you with absolute certainty that while I'm weed whacking this walkway, the song that's going through my head is "Taking Care of Business," just like it should be, because that's what I'm doing. So there you have my little rendition of the song that's going through my head. We pause our weed whacking for a look at this big old hornworm here. He decimated this plant up here at the top of it. Do you see? This is the remains. This is all that's left of a tomato he ate. I got to get him off. But my first clue that he was here was right there. Poop that looks sort of like a grenade. And there's quite a bit of it because he is a monster of a hornworm. So I got to get rid of him. Full disclosure, I cannot bring myself to touch hornworms with my bare hands. Hornworms, basically any kind of caterpillar, I'm just not down for it. They're squishy little bodies. So I will grab some pruners and cut off the little bit of the plant he's on, and then I will chuck him out in the yard. That normally works really well for me because we have a lot of birds around and they're always like, yay, snacks. So I'm going to do that before I get to any more weed whacking. Oh, here we go, guys. In case you wanted to know how big he is, here's my hand. So my very sophisticated getting rid of the hornworms plan. Whoa. Happy snacking, birdies. My weed whacker died, you guys. Well, I guess the battery for my weed whacker died, so I'm going to have to charge that up before I can finish. But it's already looking so much better, so much more manageable to walk through and not be afraid of snakes or anything else that I can't see. So here's a walkway. Looks so much better. This whole side is looking good. I got the middle walkway taken care of, and it died on me about halfway down this walkway. Oh, all right, you guys. So since since my weed whacker died, I'm gonna work on some weeding here. And so I thought I would sit under one of my shade cloths and work in a little bit of shade. I am also thinking some of my big tomato plants have finally actually put on some fruit, and I would like to show that to you guys here in a minute. But they're still just not producing super great. And I got to thinking, and I don't know if this is actually a possibility or not, because I have never done this before, never needed to. My tomatoes have grown well, but I'm wondering if it's possible that because we had quite a wet spring, if my fertilizer, just a lot of it got washed away. And so I'm thinking that I'm going to try and add some more fertilizer to my tomatoes and see if that will help. I use the Trifecta Plus from MI Gardner. It's wonderful fertilizer. I've had such great luck with it ever since I've been using it. But I'm wondering if because we had so much rain back in April and May, I think that's right. I'm just wondering if my plants just need a little extra boost. Here in North Alabama too, we have plenty of time left that my plants could set tomatoes and give me a really big, beautiful harvest still. And so if there's a way to salvage this year and still get tomatoes in enough amounts that I can can some things, I would really like that. I had goals this year for canning, things I really wanted to put up. Oh my goodness. This grass, it's the same grass that grows in my walkways. It just blows in and takes root, and it's really gross. And I know it would be better if I could get it sooner, but needs must. Life is busy. You do what you can do, and it got away from me this year. I'm gonna have to turn you guys around and show you this. This end cap here is already looking so much better. End cap like I'm at the grocery store. It does kind of work that way though, because I have a cattle panel here, and so there's just about a foot of growing space. Oh my goodness, you guys. So this little end section is already looking a million times better. But look what I found. A slicing cucumber. I had written these off because they just weren't doing well. And I can actually see another one in there. I just said slicing. I mean, oh goodness, the word is eluding me. Pickling cucumber. Because if you've watched any of the other videos, then you know I'm overrun with slicing cucumbers, but I haven't had any pickling cucumbers. So this is so exciting. So excited. They're just hiding in the weeds. I think I have learned my lesson, you guys. I think it's weed fabric for me, because my south bed is where the slicing cucumbers are, where they are just thriving. And I think it's because they have less competition with the weeds. And the north bed is crazy. I'm actually going to turn this so you can see down the center of this bed, and you literally can't see past about 2-3 feet because it's so weedy down the middle. I tried planting all kinds of things down the middle to try and help. I planted marigolds, I planted basils. Did I plant other stuff? There's a pineapple sage, but I just tried to plant things that would get big and fill out and help cover the ground and take up that space that the weeds would come in, and they're still just so prolific. So here, let me turn you and you can see. So many weeds. So this is what I'm going to try and work on, but I want you to see how nice this bed is looking right now, where I have managed to weed. I need to do some pruning on my tomatoes because you can see they're a little gross, but this was basically invisible. the soil because of the weeds. And look at how much better it is. So I'm just going to work my way down the bed and hopefully get it looking this good. Here are some of those big tomatoes I was talking about. These are actually a couple of pineapple tomatoes. Let's see if I can get my hand on here. I know these can get a lot bigger, but given the problems we've had this year, I'm just thrilled to have any. This is the first year I've grown these, and we actually got one. We ate BLTs the other day and had one for dinner, and it was delicious. Oh, go away, bee. I love bees in my garden until they're buzzing my ears, and then they make me a little nervous. I am allergic to a lot of bugs, but luckily I've never had a really bad reaction to a bee, especially because my dad was really allergic. I remember him getting stung one time and he had a welt the size of a basketball. Oops. Let's try not to knock you guys over. I've gotten a whole lot accomplished here in the north bed where my tomatoes are. So I am actually going to turn you around and give you a peek down the row where you could hardly see anything before. And hopefully it shows up on camera, but it is a totally different situation now. And I'm so thrilled about it. Okay, so from down low, you can actually see through here now. And if we come up high, there are so many weeds gone and it's just so much better. So let's take a little stroll. So much better. I definitely still have to get out here and prune on the tomatoes because down where they were in the weeds, they're not looking great. But let's see if we can look up higher. If you look up here, they're still beautiful and healthy. So I just got to get the fungal issues dealt with down here low. But that, let's see if we can see it. That's a nice big beautiful tomato right there. Let's see what it says it is. That's another pineapple. So I have 3 nice sized pineapples on these plants right now. But here we go. All nice and cleaned up. I don't know if I've really showed you guys much of this, but these are tomatoes I picked that had blossom end rot, which is really sad. They're all off of my determinate tomatoes, and they just set when we were getting a lot of rain over a couple of weeks, and it's sad. But here we go. So all nice and weeded. Oh, I know what else I have to show you guys because it's hilarious. While I was weeding, I pulled this tiny little baby carrot. My carrots did not germinate well this spring, and the few that did germinate, they germinated right as I was getting ready to plant the tomatoes, and I thought I pulled them all, but clearly not. Now that I've gotten so much of the work done, it's time for the fun part, and I'm going to get to harvest some stuff out here today. I see some ripe peppers and some ripe cherry tomatoes. Some of my determinate tomatoes are ripening. Hopefully they don't have blossom end rot, but we'll see once I pick them. So you guys, it's actually the next morning. I kept working in the garden. Oh, hi, Jerry. I don't think you guys have met. This is my buddy, Jerry, my sweet big boy of a kitty. Anyway, so the gardening day did not end yesterday like I would have wanted it to end, to be perfectly frank with you. I stopped filming because I started to get hot and just thought, oh, I need to just get things finished and not worry about the camera and all, it takes longer to film. And so I thought, I'm just not going to film anymore. I'm going to pick my vegetables. I wanted to pick a bouquet of flowers, and I had a mental list of things that I wanted to get accomplished. So
I was working through those things. I picked the rest of the vegetables. I did pick a bouquet of flowers. I just sort of was like, oh, it's not going to take me that long. I'm almost done. And I just really was sort of so focused on my mental checklist that I was not really paying attention to my body. And by the time I finished picking my bouquet of flowers, I was feeling very exhausted. I was clearly really hot. And by the time I got back into the house, I was shaky and um, starting to have chills. So it was not a good situation. And I did all the things you're supposed to do when you start feeling like that. I came in the house, I got myself under the fan to help cool me down. I drank something with electrolytes and just really prioritized rest yesterday afternoon. But once I wasn't feeling chills anymore, I started to get really hot. And yesterday evening, ended up turning the temperature down on the thermostat in the house. And I told my mom, I said, I am just so hot. And she said, you probably raised your body temperature. And it did not ever occur to me to take my temperature anywhere along the day. So I came in probably around 12:30, 12:45 is when I came in feeling terrible. And by the time I had that conversation with my mom, it was about 6 o'clock. And so I grabbed the thermometer, took my temperature, and it was 99.1 degrees. And so I kind of wonder what my temperature was when I came in and I had all those chills and just was definitely experiencing quite a few symptoms of heat exhaustion. So I'm telling you guys all of this because I am sure there are other people out there like me who have that mental checklist that I got to get this done. I got to get this done. And sometimes we just get too focused on the got to get it done and we don't pay attention to what we need to be paying attention to. And for me, that was definitely, I was ignoring what my body was telling me. I don't know if it was so much ignoring or just like I was so focused on what I needed to get done that I just wasn't paying attention. But I'm glad I'm feeling better today. I am still quite a bit exhausted, but I mean, it could have been worse. So, hi, Benny. This is Benny. You guys have probably spotted him in a few videos. But I just want to encourage you guys if you are like me and you tend to have the checklist and I got to get it done, I got to get it done, don't. Sometimes you just got to be like, you know what? It's done. I can't do anymore. And that's okay. Because what's the worst that would have happened if I hadn't picked the vegetables? A couple of cherry tomatoes might have gotten overripe. A bug might have got to one of my peppers. The cucumbers might have gotten a little overgrown. You guys, I have a crisper drawer in my fridge that's full of cucumbers. It would not have been the end of the world if I had missed a couple of cucumbers and they just got too overgrown. And the flowers, let's be real. I don't have to have a bouquet of flowers in my house. That is not going to change my life one way or the other. And so I should have stopped earlier. And I just want to encourage you guys, pay attention to what your body's telling you and listen, just really listen. And if you're outside, don't be outside at 12:30 picking flowers like I was. It was probably, I know it was 91 degrees at 1 o'clock. I came in about 12:30, 12:45, and the heat index was somewhere around 100 because it's really humid. So again, bad decisions. Just be aware of the temperature, be aware of the heat index. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling, but I just don't want somebody else to do what I did. Hi, baby. So, anyway, that's my PSA on being out in the sun too long and heat exhaustion. Prioritize yourself. The vegetables, they can hang on another day, but your health is the priority, right? My health is the priority, not the cherry tomatoes. So, thank you guys for hanging out with me yesterday and today. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye.